Hello people, and welcome to a showcase of everything new that arrives with the Race Day DLC and the two new content creator packs, Iconic Brutalism by Crystalisto and Renewed History by Brum. A huge congratulations to both creators for landing their own creator packs, well done. And there's an absolute ton of content here, as Cities Skylines 1 receives even more DLC, 11 years after launch. There's an absolute ton of content to show off here, so settle in and I'll give my opinion on what I think of all this towards the end of the video. If we can get one like on this video, I'll continue to make more of them, but otherwise, let's get stuck into an absolute content bomb, shall we? Alright guys, so we'll get stuck in with the Race Day pack first. So a quick note on the mods here. 81 tiles broke in the early access branch, however Algernon in his infinite genius has prepared a fix. So I can't load into any of my 81 tile existing builds currently, but it will be fixed on release, so don't worry about that. So we'll check out everything that comes new, and then we'll check out an example of how it functions, if you like, in this little test city over here. I also made the official tutorials for these videos on the official Cities channel, so head over and check those out if you haven't seen them. So our new roads can be found under a Racing and Parades tab in the roads menu. First of all, we have our race motor track here. So they're really nice assets, I love them. Especially the addition of the motor race track with dual curb, which you can see here. Next door, just a single-sided curb. Then we have the pit lane entry and exit. These are used to connect the road next door, which is the pit lane, back onto and off the track. And then we have our two street roads, which are your regular roads, but they will be closed off for events when they're placed down, and obviously events go through them. And then we have the cobblestone alleyway. This new road is used to help service buildings that sit on these two roads here. So when events are going on, obviously they can't get deliveries, emergency services, so they will use this road behind them instead. I'll show you a brief setup of what that looks like in this exact instance over here. So these commercial buildings are sat on an event road. When this road is closed for said events, its services and deliveries will use this cobblestone alleyway road at the back instead. If you don't do that, they will complain and eventually abandon if you don't give them the cobblestone alleyway access, so it is quite important. But those are your new road networks, wonderful news indeed. And then we come on to the race bit, which is very nice. So we have our race HQ. This is found again under the parks menu, but under a new tab for events and racing. So this is a nice building. In the trailers I partnered it with the science center, which was really nice. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Next door to this, we have the pit garage. These must be placed on a pit lane. Case in point, they won't go on a normal track. They have to be on the pit lane here. And you can get these actually quite close together in vanilla, which is nice. It's not too bad to get them pretty flush. So very expandable out here with airport apron, of course. The Race HQ building also comes with two networks, which you can see highlighted as you hover over it, so it's quite a large footprint in this. Then we have three different types of grandstand, small, medium and large. For these to function, they must have a path connection behind them, which you'll see removes the no access warning. So again, make sure that you have the room behind these when you're planning your tracks and to make sure they can actually be used. And again, they're really nice. Wonderful assets. It'll be fun with Anarchy to kind of repurpose these into other positionings, perhaps even custom stadiums or around the existing football pitches of Bad Peanut. It begins to let the mind wander a little bit, doesn't it? But really welcome assets to have the grandstands in. Then we have some props. We have a camera stand down here, which you'll also notice a new icon for spectator mode. The Race HQ building also has it as well. And if you click in this, it just gives you a bit of a first-person POV, so you can perhaps enjoy some more street-level shots of your races and whatnot. So a nice little feature. It's almost like a step towards an actual first-person tour camera, which would be just so welcome. So hopefully Tantilus will add that. Then we have our nightstands here, which do function and emit out light. There's single-sided variants, and then there's a double over here. So these assets here will make up the bulk of your racetracks, with you then adding your own details. And of course, with so many assets in CS1 now, there's so much DLC, right? You can pack these out with so many different variations of things now. Of course, even including the new content creator packs that have arrived with this as well. Now everyone, we come on to brand new vents.
Brand new vents. Brand new vents.
My favourite thing in the world, everyone. There's 3 of them. Happy days indeed. My life revolves around CS1, receiving new vents networks. So we have metal race barriers, concrete race barriers, and a tyre wall. And this isn't even the best bit of this update, everyone, but we'll check out the assets first. And they can be used away from racetracks, so absolutely expect to repurpose them, especially this one. I think will go really nicely in things like ports, other generic industrial areas, just the backs of perhaps some grubbier commercial. This one's definitely more race themes, especially with the painted steel. I think this one does belong on the tracks, but this one for sure you can take elsewhere. And then the tyre wall, my new favourite one. This is amazing. This is so cool. Obviously this one's pretty track kind of specific as well. But to have this as a network is just fantastic. Actual tyre wall fence, everyone. Incredible. Actually wonderful scenes. And then at the end here, we have the events part of the DLC. Where we have a start line park. Again, these are found under that same events menu here. And then we have a finish line event park. As an example of how this new mechanic works, this is exactly it. The start line and the finish line must be connected via the event road. It can be in whatever configuration and shape you want, but they must be able to make it down these blue roads from building to building. Then at the end here, we also have the 2 new event pathways, which are a slight light grey. Again, these will be absolutely more than welcome. Be nice to get some different variation in from the usual park life paths that we've been using for so many years. So let's go set a race up. Okay everyone, so let's look at a functional race circuit, shall we? So here we see our race HQ building, and then we can hit event route info. So it'll give you your track layout, how many pit garages you have, stand capacities, expenses. Here you can customize your colour, which you can see will change all of the variants around the various different race day assets. Perhaps go for a slightly bolder red here if you like. Relevant costs, your spectators and demographics, attractiveness of course based on how much stuff you have around your circuit. Very similar mechanics to what you've seen in Cities 1 before. And your current event information, which you can see we currently have a formula race going on at the minute. It'll give you your upcoming events and how far that event is in progress. Before we check out the rest of those tabs, we'll check out some racing, shall we? Well, here we can see our little formula cars going around the circuits to our little 2D people. We're all loving the tracks. We can see our new fences in action around here too. So it's an awful lot of fun. Really great just feature to have in your city. Something that's so alive as well, animated. Of course, people walking around in the middle during the start of the race as well. So I love it. We'll check out some nighttime views as well. Check out some of those lights we've put down. So I hope you're excited for it, everyone. It's really, I've had a ton of fun playing with the Race Day DLC since getting access to it. And I can't wait to get some mods on it as well. Of course, I've just been a pretty limited mod set at recording these videos on the early access branch, but once everyone's stable and happy in the public release, we'll have an awful lot of fun with mods creating these things, I think. Definitely expect some revisit live streams on the channel soon. Back to our events tab, we can also check the schedule. Here we can add or suspend events, so in this instance we'll go ahead and add a new one together. We can decide which type of motor race we want. The one going on right now is obviously formula racing, so we can select circuit cruisers. Here we set the event tier. The higher this is, the more impressive, but the more expensive as well. So as you bring the slider up, you get more competitors, but total increased costs. Then you have your number of laps, again just a slider. The maximum is 10. And then you have your ticket price, which again you can set to a maximum of 500. You then set the day and the month for your event, of course, which you can line up down here in the bottom if you want to align it with a specific calendar perhaps. And then you hit schedule, and then your event will appear here and will take place every year on the date and month that you specified. You can also check previous results here, where you can check out famous racers such as Jet Urban, Marcus Kane, Stan Markson, or Jake Nitro Lawson, etc. So you get your current live rankings and your past event winners here. And then there are some policies, no need for earplugs, which will reduce the negative effect of noise pollution from nearby racetracks at a cost of $2 a building. And then advertisement campaign, which draws 20% more visitors and tourists for a slight upkeep cost. They're pretty similar to our kind of part life advertisement mechanics and stuff. Things we've seen before, things we're familiar with in CS1 for these race day DLC stuff. So to enjoy some more views of the tracks, you can see here where I've just put some airport aprons behind those pit garages here. Got your pit lanes separating off with these fences, which we'll touch on that now actually because it's very exciting. So with this DLC also arrives the ability to add fences to networks. So I'll show you what I mean by this. Let's say when we find a bit of naked road here. A little bit of road, you can select a fence. And you can add it to the road, everyone. And this doesn't use any nodes. This massively helps the vanilla game with node count issues. You will reclaim thousands across your city by being able to do this. And this works on everything, so let me grab oil industry fence. Holy smokes, everyone. Right click to get rid of it. And have it on both sides of the road if you want. Just honestly incredible. Like, really insane. Have to be careful where you put it, because of course you can shut off people's buildings. But the fact of the matter that this works is absolutely incredible. A massive quality of life bump for unmodded CS1, that. Yeah, huge. Let me know what you think of that one down in the comments, guys. That's such a major change for the base game. As someone who plays relatively, or at least lightly modded, has done for years, this is amazing. I love it. Huge thumbs up for the fence to road upgrade additions here. So I'll show you a configuration of the event stuff here and the things that can go wrong with it. So you notice this little barrier of the house icon we have. So this is that one or more buildings on the event route will need access during events. This is because I don't have the cobblestone alleyway behind all of these buildings, right? So when you're configuring your event routes and you're planning on zoning on them, you really need to plan in the cobblestone alleyway configuration. All these guys here will be fine, but these houses on these roads and this commercial building will not be, because they don't have that cobblestone alleyway behind them. So really important point when planning your events in. I imagine that'll trip a lot of people up. But either way, let's come into an event route and we can check our info. So really similar interface to the race day stuff, just obviously themed around big pink tent. And we can check our schedule, adding in a new event together, where you can choose from a parade, a running race, or a cycling race, with the two latter also coming in kind of like fun charity variants, if you like, rather than competitive, I guess is the vibe they're trying to go for here. So we'll choose a running race. Again, we can choose the tier, which will increase cost and number of competitors. Let's try out a tier 4 here. And then we can throw up our price, for which we can charge our spectators. We'll make this one pretty soon, so it's April right now. We'll make this the 25th. We can schedule. There you go. You see your little event stands pops up. And then once we reach the 25th of the month here, in a moment's notice, thanks to the magic of editing, all of our roads will close off with the barriers. Our races will spawn in, do a little warm-up. Honestly, I love it. This is so charming. You can probably already tell I'm a big fan of this DLC. You're talking about the master DLC tier list, which if you are new to CS, check out all the CS tier lists on the channel for DLC rankings and best maps and whatnot. And there's a playlist on the channel if you're interested. But this is probably a very strong A tier, if not a must-buy. Probably not must-buy if you've got no DLC. There's more important ones than this, but this is a good one. And then they'll just run. Isn't it amazing? They'll just go for a jog through the city. And you'll just have all these little props spawning. Let's close off the roads. We'll spend a bit of time following it through the streets here. Of course, if it's a cycling event, they'll be on the bikes. And we'll check out a parade as well, where they have a few kind of, I guess, floats going up and down the street. Very Mardi Gras, I suppose. So it's just another little layer of life you can breathe into your cities here. So yeah, such a fun little gameplay mechanic to have. And because you schedule them year round as well, like every now and again you're just going to be in your city and you'll hit the date when there's an event on. You'll be like, oh yeah, it's the yearly Ilium marathon. So it's such a fun little feature. Honestly, I really can't fawn over it enough. I really like the race day DLC. Fantastic. Fireworks go off at the finish line as they cross it. We have our finish line building here with a little first aid tent, which hopefully we're going to be able to get as a prop as Find It. That would be really nice if we can get these as individual little buildings. I guess we'll see once Find It gets updated. And here as well, these little food tents. I want these as well. Goodness gracious, give me those as props. Right. So you have your city run. And there you go. Just an awful lot of fun. We'll check out a little parade here as well. And then back at the start line here, we can watch our city parade take place with a variety of really fun floats. There's a Cake City down here, I think, is it? Is it Cake? Not sure. Oh no, there's a princess on top of it. It's very Alice in Wonderland, I suppose, isn't it? A whole variety of very brightly coloured floats. I guess what looks like a floral texture, maybe? Guess they're maybe decorated in flowers or something. Giant pineapple. Right, little mini skyline on top of a load of flowers. Really fun. So you just get these moving down. There's marching bands in them too. Kind of Joker, I guess they're clowns, aren't they? And lions doing backflips. Everything you want from a parade. An ambulance, which I guess is maybe like homage to the emergency services rather than there for in case it goes wrong, I suppose. I guess it's the vibe there. More floats, more marching bands, and of course the higher the tier, the longer the parade is, essentially. Because there's significantly more floats coming down. Obviously the fire guys here as well. Shout out to the firemen of Cities 1 and their wonderful animations. It just keeps coming. Never ends. It's vast. So just such a cool feature. So again, you can set up a yearly parade to perhaps celebrate something in your city's heritage, or perhaps something that passes by a campus university to line in with maybe a graduation ceremony. So the parade passes by the campus building at the same time, maybe at the start of summer as the academic year ends. There's so many different ways you can just begin to blend these little features into your city. It's just wonderful. Huge fan of it, everyone. There is some cake. Speak of the cake and it shall appear. So yeah, huge props for the race day DLC stuff. This is what you can expect from it with all your new assets. And of course, don't forget everyone to fawn over the comments for the ability to add fences to roads now. This will allow me to reclaim quite a few hundred nodes, if not thousands, from Orchid Bay, which is a tantalizing prospect, isn't it? But big thumbs up for the Race Day DLC. Let's go ahead and check out the content creator pack, shall we? So this is the iconic Brutalism pack by Crystallisto. An incredibly unique pack that is very good. Comes with 18 different buildings, 5 unique buildings, and 3 plazas. So let's get stuck into them, shall we? So first of all, we'll find the Brutalist Med Clinic. A really wonderful asset. Calls everything, as you would imagine, very brutalist, which is lots of harsh angles, flat concrete faces. And it's a tasteful asset. A crematorium lies next door, yet more discreet death care, perhaps even more discreet than the Korean one, which I really love. Always happy to see this kind of stuff in. This is our first Chungus, the Brutalist Hospital. Really nice asset. Look at the 3 different chunks on the back of it. Again, wonderfully modelled by Christo. Little under entrances here as well, parking garages. Just fantastic. Stairs, of course. I love stairs in CS1. Hopefully Find It might even be able to give us these planters if they've been registered as separate props, who knows. Brutalist Fire Station lies next door here. More discreet fire. Really love these kind of slats in the building on the red. That'll pair really nicely in loads of modern builds as well, this fire station. And then a smaller variant next door. Quite similar to the Med Clinic, this one. Just as welcome. Police station, of course. Big and small variants side by side here. the helicopter pad on top of this bit of the station. Little side entrances to make use of here within your detailing. Lots of fun to be had with these assets. Next door to this we have the Brutalist College, which is functioning as a university. It does give 4600 capacity, which is absolutely vast, so you'll probably have to stop caring about your university education capacity with this, because this with a campus you'll have tens of thousands of campus places with probably never filling them all. But beyond that, you can repurpose it, reco it if you want to, of course. Brutalist Elementary School. Really nice, very cubey. Little playground detailing in the back there. High school, of course, next door. I really love all the angles on this building. This will be a nice corner asset, I think. Especially with all this concrete texture on the side. It almost wants to be expanded into a little plaza, doesn't it? So, yeah. Big fan of these education and service assets all down this road here. Next door to this, we have the Brutalist Library, which is absolutely wonderful. All the angles on this. Really special. I bet this one looks quite tidy at night time, is it? Isn't that nice? I've got that one behind it, my word. Special. Wonderful. So again, super distinctive assets. And next door to this we have the Brutalist Elevated Metro Station, which is just gorgeous. Again, loads of ways to expand this underneath with pathways linking it into plazas behind it. You could very easily double this station up for a really cool visual with how the roof kind of pivots up and comes to a peak like this. A very fusible asset, that one. Likewise with the Brutalist Ground Metro Station as well. Super gorgeous building, this, absolutely love it. I don't know why I find Brutalism architecture so fascinating, but it's such a distinctive visual, isn't it? I love it. Wonderful. Next to this, we also have the Brutalist Garbage Incineration, which gives us a slightly more discreet garbage solution. Of course, a lot of the other assets in the garbage pool outside the recycling centre are quite big, so this one's quite welcome with it being quite a small footprint. Also has a 28 garbage truck capacity on it as well, alongside producing you a small amount of power. Over here, the Brutalist Water Treatment Plant, 112,000 cubic meters a week. If you want to compare that to the base game sewage, exactly the same as a regular sewage dump. So really nice. Got the little pools on top, nice and small. Here we have the Brutalist Power Plant, which looks really nice. I really love the smokestacks on this one. It is burning oil in terms of your supply chain with keeping it fed with said liquid gold. But very nice, really like it. Another new power solution. Will go very nicely in oil refinery, this as well, especially with the silos on it. And then we have a Brutalist Underground Metro Station, which is just a single track configuration you can see as you hover over the asset. Just a really small, cute corner metro. Let you get this quite tightly into downtown spaces without taking up a huge footprint with your station. They're very tidy. And then we also have the Brutalist Water Tower as the last of your 18 service buildings as well, which even has a little viewing deck on top of it, which is very repurposable, isn't it? Because you could totally just get away with saying, well, this is an observation tower, you know, but you're giving yourself water capacity. And it's not too dominant either. Now we'll come on to the unique buildings, where we have the Brutalist Clover building. And these are all functioning as parks, essentially, with them being uniques. A nice concrete footprint around them, ready to be the centerpiece of your next plaza build. The Brutalist Stacked Towers is possibly the coolest asset in the game. It's certainly up there as a contender, isn't it? You can get your pathways anarchied through this. Lots of fun you can have, I think, with the floor and the underneath of this with detailing. Can't wait to get stuck into this one in Ilium and all our recent live stream renovations. Mind boggles, doesn't it? Again, all in absolutely wonderful Brutalist architecture. The City Hall lies next door, which has a really nice rooftop garden. And almost this kind of like slanted bowl feature as it kind of rises out as it goes up, right? Another little plaza space down in the middle here. Get your pathways running through it. Have people busybodying all around the base of this asset here. The Brutalist Theatre, again, introduces more stairs for us. We all know how much I love stairs. With this kind of arrowhead reversing staircase here too. Other entrances to take advantage of here. Just such unique buildings, aren't they? Which is literally what they are. They are just unique buildings. That office building which has this kind of hollowed out core in the middle. So many wonderful additions to add to either a medium density rise or a skyline. Dedicated kind of library plazas, or even a homage to the architecture itself, perhaps a much older bit of the city. You know, when this was built back in the day, but is no longer like this anymore. So a really wonderful visual to bring into it. I really do like this pack. And next door to this we have the Brutalist Fountain Plaza, which is animated with some water flowing down here. Really love this. I love the depth again. Stairs and depth are always up my alley. Slightly raises up in the middle to sink down into this water feature. Trees around it. Little planters on the edge. Again, concrete foot as well, so you can make this the centerpiece of your new plaza space. Again, more stairs, everyone. Stair City. And the elevated plaza is next door. Again, with a little hollowed out core. Where people are actually coming up and down the stairs there. You see him walk down? You gonna come back up? You okay, Edward? You gonna use the stairs again for me? Any minute now. No, he's really enthralled, isn't he? But yeah, you can see them actually come down into the little basin here as well. They're great assets. There you go. Using the stairs. Love to see that. And then the last plaza here is the Brutalist Sunken Circle Plaza, which is exactly that. It's Brutalist, it's sunken, and it's a circle. But again, the depth of the stairs will go endlessly well in your downtown spaces. I really love it. I feel like you could piece together a really fun kind of government style district, especially if you're perhaps going for an older, more Eastern European themed build. Or I guess even in the UK, we have quite a lot of Brutalist architecture here as well, to be fair. But yeah, really unique pack. Definitely on the higher end of the tier list if you're considering grabbing this one. And lastly, but certainly not least, we'll take a look at Renewed History by Brum, which includes 7 service buildings, 11 unique buildings, 10 parks, and 22 new props. So just like with the Brutalism pack, this is a super unique visual. Here we have a general hospital with a 2500 capacity. And it is Renewed History. There's history, and then there's renewal. And they're really unique assets. Nice little delivery area around the back here, or ambulance bay perhaps. Extendable detailing to be had around the bottom of this. But really nice, quite Art Deco almost as well actually. At least in some of them. Here we have the police headquarters. With 100 police cars available from this one, which I think is the highest capacity of any of the police stations. By quite a distance. So this is nice again. Extendable footprints around here. There's some basketball courts and seating on top. For the police during their time off, I suppose. We have a student's residence next door, which functions as university capacity. So technically a university here. But again, it's a nice building. Go very nice in your downtown, super repurposable. Which is the story for a lot of these assets. The Renewed Elementary School is next door, which has a 3000 capacity, which is a lot for an elementary. It's again really nice, got lots of little colours tucked in these little coves around the back. Gardens and playgrounds, admittedly dangerously close to the edge perhaps for some of the small children. Renewed High School is next door, a double tier basketball football pitch here actually, and basketball. Yeah, there's a hoop above the goal, isn't there? And lots of fun little stepped designs here, very angular again. I think a lot of this you can pair quite nicely with so many existing assets. This is one of my favorite buildings, the urban campus, 9,000 university capacity. Very modern looking building. In the pitches, in the roof. All this walkable space. You have through the middle. See people sat here right now, in fact. Take a little walk through, shall we? Wonderful scenes. I love that. Super modern looking building, especially with this older and off-center kind of stone section. It's a super unique building, in fact. I really like that. And then the last of the service buildings is the central library, which is like a renovated factory, isn't it? Easily one of the coolest assets. This makes gentrification projects, especially when you see the rest of the pack behind us here as well, significantly more achievable without the mods, or indeed without any kind of major custom asset collections of old buildings. This would go so nicely on a waterfront. Looks like a bit like a museum as well, doesn't it? Or near like an old port. Just such a cool theme for a pack. So there's your service buildings. Then we'll move on to the 11 unique buildings. Where we have a flagship store. Again, a building that almost wants to be in a 2x2 pattern, doesn't it? So you get the full block. Very modern. It's like almost like a sleeve around the glass tower, isn't there? Very cool. Next to this, we have the hotel tower, and some of these are pretty tall as well, you'll see here. Definitely getting some new skyscrapers with this. We have our little pools here, tables, seating. Very nice asset. This again is one of my favourite ones. This fits very much in line with the library over here, doesn't it? Like a real gentrified old factory that's now either apartments or perhaps a commercial mall, education, whatever it's been turned into, right? But very much renewed history is certainly the theme of the day here, isn't it? Speaking of, as we approach the Lofts skyscraper, which is an absolute beast. Huge modern like helix design to it, isn't it? Very modern tower. Roof gardens around the base of it, as it's chucked on top of this. An older, slightly more Art Deco themed building at the bottom, isn't it? Lofts Tower 1 is next door to this. All these little shifting angles, like it's a Jenga tower about to fall, right? Architecture police are going to love this. Really nice pools and seating again around the base of these towers for you. Lots of little layers and angles to add into your city corners. The Lofts Tower 2 is next door to this, which is like this kind of copper sheeting effect. You can make it out here. That's kind of clad around the building with lots of different balconies on it. Where you get a much more older stone base around the bottom. With that, again, more roof gardens to enjoy. Next to this, we have the Mies Museum, which is perhaps French for mice, who knows. But this is really cute, isn't it? Again, old meets modern. This little separate sky bridge, get your pathways allocated through here, everyone, right? Fantastic. Again, I can just picture this right on Ilium's waterfront in the downtown. And of course it comes with ramps as well, which is an extra layer of detail for your cities. Really wonderful scenes. This is the office skyscraper. Possible new tallest asset in the game. We'll compare this against the current tallest asset in the game, which is the Six Rivers Center from the Skyscrapers DLC. Indeed it is. There we go. The office skyscraper is the new tallest asset in the game by quite a bit as well, isn't it? It's quite a bit taller than this one here. So really cool. New tallest tower asset available, everyone. With do you know what this reminds me of? Has anyone played Hitman? The Dubai level on Hitman reminds me exactly of this. But super cool, again, very angular. Super modern looking against its old base down here at the bottom. I'm so interested to see how everyone uses these. Yeah. Office tower. Pretty similar vibes again across the rest of the pack here. Modern tower or top old building. And then the social residence is also down here as well. Even fact referencing Art Deco and its influences here. So certainly we could see that theme coming through, couldn't we? So a lot of fun. And then we have the sports centre, which is an industrial site. Again, definitely holds Brutalist themes again, doesn't it? Really fun, that one. So you can totally stick this in around an orbit of your other Brutalist pack buildings here, should you be grabbing both content creator packs. They complement each other very well, these ones, actually. Inner old dysfunctional pipes here. Actually very good inspiration for Satisfactory. As a side note. For a building here. All these little skybridge crosswalks. Super awesome looking building, that one, isn't it? Wonderful. But that does it for your 11 of the unique buildings. Now we'll take a look at the 10 parks, which might be some of the best parks the game's ever had. Here we have a park with sports courts, which has exactly that. Lots of these little shelter things on it as well, which are also available as props, which we'll come on to in a second. This entire park, essentially all the props are available here. The basketball courts, which is very fun. Next door to this we have a park with a dome, which is like this almost, I guess, bamboo looking kind of structured dome, isn't it? Some sort of renewable timber material at least. With a really nice walkway. Path nodes off the back, I hope. And it doesn't snap, but you can probably connect it in. I hope they'll walk on that. But regardless, Anarchy will see to it if you're on the PC. But like really fun, unique looking parks, aren't they? These look great in the Central Park building, Ilium. A park with old factory. Again, where you can really lean into those gentrification, renovation vibes again with this. Really fun way actually to blend kind of port to commercial to residential. Great transitional assets, these. I think a lot of different ways I'll use them. A small warehouse park here. Really fun. And lots of these little covers which will come in great for all the plaza work we do. Park with a dome and different variant of the old little warehouse building here. Black concrete edges for pathways to branch off and out. Another park with sports courts in a different configuration here. Little bleachers. Trees. They're such pretty bright parks, aren't they? Like a 4x4 with sports court. You can see these use as more shelters here along the edge. A tiny little 2x4 park. And then another 2x2 park, which would be so nice for filling awkward little spaces. Repeating these in 3x3 or 2x2 grids. Next door is the historic arcade, which does have a path node out the back, thankfully. Wonderful. Again, this will probably partner quite well with the Market Street asset, which functions very similar to this, also the Korean food market. But you can very easily tuck this into a European build as well. I think you definitely want it next to something, because there's very flat concrete edges here. You know, you want this to be sandwiched between two things, I think. But I can certainly think of a million different ways to use this. Especially maybe perhaps have like a government building with much older buildings around it, maybe. It'll be an awful lot of fun. So those are your 10 parks here. Really bright and colourful. Some of the most unique parks the game's ever had, especially with these factories and the domes and the pictures in. Very welcome additions to the official asset pool. And then we'll check out the 22 props we have over here. All of the pictures from those assets you just saw are all available as props. So custom pitch detailing is now much more achievable in your park spaces for official asset CS1. So these are so good for green detailing. This little plop of vegetation is also a prop, which is very nice. Always happy to have some extra overgrowth. And then we have those stands that we've seen in the 4 different variants across the assets. These will come so nice for public transit stops, general park detailing. They're kind of like, almost like that thing in Singapore, you know, with like the giant kind of walkable trees. You could do something with that. Mods will be quite fun to use with these. Then we have the dome. And then those big buildings we saw across the parks in all their different variations. So again, even using these in port builds as repetitive warehousing for a port if you don't want the zoned industry there. Game changing, so repurposable into whatever you want to use these sorts of things for. Then over here, we have our props, which is all the tables and chairs and seating. There's a little bar over here. An actual gazebo, which is great for event space detailing. and then tables with various different configurations of seating. So yeah, that's your props. And indeed a look at literally every asset arriving with this update. Of course not including the extended race day functionality away from actually building your own track. So unfortunately for the lifting of this embargo, the final patch notes for release aren't ready, so I can't cover them in this video, but I will make a separate standalone video just briefly running over the patch notes once I have them available to me. So overall, to wrap up my thoughts on this one, all of these packs are absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the race day mechanic. I think that's going to add so much life to our city streets, seeing these annual marathons and parades and Formula 1 racing just constantly looping around as you're continuing to build and expand. A huge thumbs up from Tantilus for their first major CS expansion. It's pretty amazing work, and I hope it's something that continues. Of course, myself, I still play a lot of CS1, and it still hovers mostly around 10,000 active players on Steam, plus still the entire console player base is still on CS1. I know there's going to be a lot of comments around these releases saying why on earth are they still making content for the first game when CS2 is struggling. There's 2 points to note there. 2, this is Tantalus, this is not Iceflake, so Tantalus aren't working on CS2 anyway. And like I mentioned, CS1 still has tens of thousands of players, so I'm really happy that they're still supporting both games, especially when it's to this level of quality. Huge round of applause for Tantalus for nailing kind of their first major expansion. I hope it's not the last time we see them add to Cities Skylines 1. And as for the content creator packs from Christo and Brum, you guys absolutely nailed it. They complement each other so well. I'm left wondering if there was almost some level of collaboration between the two of them. And of course, with the huge, vast amount of content we have with CS1, these two content creator packs will absolutely blend in. All of these are at least an A-tier DLC, if not all 3 of them potentially being must-buy. I just need to spend a little bit more time with them yet, but they are certainly the higher end of that tier list if you're thinking about buying these new DLCs for Cities Skylines 1. If you are missing any of the DLC, including these, don't forget to check out the link to Instant Gaming we mentioned. It does help support the channel, and you'll get yourself a good deal in return. Otherwise, let me know what you think of these. Will you be picking up these packs? Or are you done with CS1 content after 11 years? Which is wild, we're still getting updates, isn't it? Cities 1 refuses to go anywhere, which I absolutely love to see. A huge shout out to the patrons and members bankrolling these videos. If you want to get involved, links are down below. Expect all of these assets to appear in builds going forward in Ilium and renovations in previous builds. But otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. I'll thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.